that brings us down to financing.
That's what I'm talking about.
So one of the things, as we just talked about, business plans.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the first thing, is understanding what your product is and why you're doing that product. And I was telling the kids today, you can create, if you don't know who your target market is, and one of the things we talked about today was doing the market research, because if someone's going to invest in your business, they need to know and feel confident that you know
your market.
That you know your market.
Exactly.
Because you can't sell anything without that market.
That's true.
Right?
That is true.
So what I found in my experience is that a lot of our businesses don't do business plans. I say they get into business by default.
Yeah, and the thing about it, they do have a business plan, Crystal.
It's in their head.
The business plan is up here. It's in their head.
It's in their head.
En la cabeza.
and it's all kind of jumbled up there. They kind of throw it out there as they go. They're flying by the seat of their pants.
Oh, yes.
And so it's fine if the market is good. It's wonderful if the economy is great, because they probably can break even. Yeah. They're not making a profit, but they're probably breaking even. But don't let there be some kind of crises. Woo. Don't let there be some sort of threat, or don't let the market crash like it did 10 years ago.
It's over.
And it's done.
Yes.
They're over. It's over and done with. So I would probably say that the biggest thing that I see with some of the businesses I dealt with is not really having a clear focus of where they're going and how they're going. They have a product. They love doing what they do, but the business foundation is not strong and the structure is not there. And so when it comes to looking for capital to grow their business, that becomes an issue.
It makes it difficult.
It makes a big difference.
Because they cannot demonstrate that they're making a profit. Or it's a good investment, because lenders are looking at, risk factor. They're looking at, okay, how is this risk going to be minimal to what I'm putting into this business? They want to make sure that the risk isn't that great.
Exactly.
Banks call it risk averse.
Right, exactly.
They want to know it's risk averse. So, the small businesses need to understand that. And we call the financial aspect of your business the vital signs.
Yes.
If the vital signs are not there, you don't have a pulse, you're dead.
Your business is dead. You're dead. And trying to figure it out after, and when it's right in the middle of the crisis,
yes.
It's very hard. You can't get into it. And I guess the reason that we're doing this show is because we realized that a lot of our businesses that are in business already, it's hard for them to come out to the workshops and the seminars, and although it's necessary, it definitely is something that you should be doing.
That's right.
We even talked to the kids today about that. Having a network, a team of people that you can reach out to, that you don't have to do it all yourself. Right. It's very, very important. Right. And then having a network of customers that could be potentially there through 60 degrees of separation from the people in your network. So working solo in a business and your head down in it, it's not gonna help. It doesn't help you. No. So and so the purpose of the show was to be able to hopefully get at least the information out to them on the airways, and then they can see the value of them coming to us for workshops and classes and having mentors and coaches in order to be able to grow their businesses.
Excellent. And with that being said, Crystal, what I'd like to do is to just remind our audience what this show is all about. This is the Business Zone. And this is a business zone a business program, a supply diversity program, where entrepreneurship, business opportunity, supply diversity come together to create opportunities for small businesses. And that's what we do here. We try to help you, the small business, so you can become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. We also want to give out our phone number today. It's 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. When our guest comes on the air today, you guys are going to have a whole lot of questions for him. And he's going to tell you guys a lot about lending and financing. So that's going to be amazing. So, Crystal, with that being said, Did you want to go ahead and
introduce
Introduce
our
our
guest?
guest?
Welcome our guest. Yes, I will love to. His name is Richard Pallay.
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 Mr.
Pallay.
Pallay?
Pallay.
He's got
Mr.
that-
Pallay.
He's got that French name.
And he is an SBA 7 Community Advantage Business Development Officer at CDC Small Business Finance. Mr. Pallay is a business development banker. He complemented by his experience in financial investment vehicles, insurance, and home mortgages. Richard has more than 30 years of business and financial experience. His integrity and strong people skills have garnered him many long-lasting, profitable relationships with a vast array of businesses ranging from small to multi-million-dollar entrepreneurs. He believes his passion to serve others, coupled with his financial background, qualifies him to find the right solutions and strategies to meet the needs of his most discerning clients. So we want to welcome you, Mr. Pallay, and thank you for joining us. And I am sure you are going to gift us with so much wisdom and tips.
Welcome to the show, Mr.
Welcome.
Pallay.
Well, thank you, Gilbert and Crystal. I'm saying your names in the order in which I'm looking at you, Gilbert first, and then Crystal. No
problem.
disrespect to you, Crystal, being a lady here with us.
Thank you.
I certainly appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I'm excited to be able to share with our audience. You mentioned about supplier diversity, so that tells me we have a diverse audience in which we're trying to provide information to, and it's a wonderful opportunity to be here to share.
Thank you. Thank you. So welcome to the show. And pretty much what we want to find out today, we just want to know what are some of the things that small business need to do prior to coming to your organization looking for loans, because you offer loans for small business as well as mortgages, correct?
Mortgages, not our organization. CDC Small Business Finance, we only do small business lending.
Excellent.
I have experience in mortgage lending, but as far as this company, it is just a small business.
Excellent.
Small business loans.
We want to make that very clear to the businesses out there. So tell us some of the things that small businesses need to do prior to coming in and applying for a loan.
Sure. I definitely want to thank Crystal for the information on the NIFTY program.
The NIFTY program.
NIFTY, because one thing you pointed out is a business plan.
Yes.
What I tell people is faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Oh, right, exactly.
It's nice to have faith. It's nice to believe, I really believe this is going to work.
Right.
But we're also told that write the vision and make it plain so that others may see it and run with it.
Yes, exactly.
If you don't write it down, nobody knows what exactly you're talking about, where you plan on going with your business, and how you're going to get there. It's your vehicle.
Yes.
Right? It's your car. It's nice to have a car, but if you don't have the keys, right, you can't drive the car. So the keys are, what is it going to take to get that car to move? That business plan tells me this is my vehicle, this is where I want to go. I definitely want to talk to the young person that's going to do the app on how to find shoes.
Okay.
Over size 9 to 12. I wear 13, and shocked when I went to Macy's and found out, we don't carry anything over 9. I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm 6 feet tall. So what are the size of the people you're typically serving that it's not profitable to serve me? That's just a side note.
Little people.
Exactly.
So certainly it's a business plan, and I don't know how far you want to go with the question, Gilbert. You let me know what else you want to know, but I want to say let's start with the business plan.
Okay.
As Crystal has already pointed out, we can go over components of that business plan, as Crystal has already started us on that path, but it definitely starts there.
Okay, so that's great. So now that we know that they need a business plan, when they bring that business plan to you, what are some of the key areas within the plan that you look for?
One thing I'm looking for in that business plan is, what do we say before? It's the vehicle that's going to move your business forward. Well, the first thing I want to know is, who's the driver?
Right.
Who is going to drive this business? Who's going to be the person that's going to say, this is the direction that we want to take the business? What is the background experience of that driver? Right. Did you decide that you're starting this business? You thought, you know what? My family has said the cupcakes I make every Christmas are so wonderful that I should sell them. Well, if that's your only experience, and that's wonderful when you're 12, It's absolutely wonderful when you're 12 to just have those cupcakes and sell those cupcakes and take your $25 investment and make it grow.
Your market doesn't have to be that large, right?
It absolutely does not. But when we're talking about more formal businesses, I want to know, what was your thought process in terms of, my experience says that I should be able to do something like this. So let's start there. Let's start with, who are you? Why should I believe that you, ma'am, sir, are going to be successful in starting this particular business? I'm not saying you can't be a business owner.
Right.
I'm saying this particular business. Tell me about you in writing.
Right. That's great.
Right.
That's great.
Right.
And then once they tell you a little bit about themselves, you see their history, you see their capacity, their capability, then you might want to know a little bit about the product or service they're offering, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now that I know about you, thank you, Gilbert. Now that I know about you, I want to know about the product. How was the product developed? And the product does not have to necessarily be a manufactured product. It could be an online business. Look at Amazon.
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't own any of the products. They're just a purveyor of someone else's products. They're just a place in which you can buy and sell, a market space, right?
Exactly.
So you can actually have a business that way. So what is it that you want to sell? What is it that you want to market to a broader audience? Right. Following that, and it sounds like what you want me to just kind of go through it, so I'll just take the path and go through it. Now that I know what your product is and why you believe this product is going to sell, now my question to you is, and I'm sure both of you have watched Shark Tank at least once in your life.
Yes, yes.
I think they're up to 10 seasons now, and I've heard people, when I've asked audiences how many watch Shark Tank, and some people say, oh, I hate Shark Tank. You know, it's all just dramatics and it's all TV. Well, what I share with audiences, pay attention to Shark Tank. A question that you're constantly hearing is customer acquisition costs. And who are your customers?
Right, exactly.
They want to know, if you have a product, who's the audience that's going to possibly buy your product versus someone else who may carry the very same product.
And is there a need for that product?
And that's what we talked about this week with the kids. That's the first thing we started with is the problem. Is it a problem or an unmet need that your product is going to satisfy?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just, they think there's a great idea. Oh, this is a great idea. I need it.
Yeah.
Them personally, but does everyone else need it? Is it
Exactly.
is it going to solve anybody else's problem?
Got to solve a pain. Got to
Right,
solve a pain in the
somebody.
marketplace. Yep.
And once we've established that, okay, I can solve a pain, I do have an audience that wants that particular product, how will you reach that audience? What is it going to cost you? And they talk about this on Shark Tank, customer acquisition costs. Now that you've identified your audience, what is it going to cost you to get to them, to reach out to them, to say, I'm available to do a transaction with you for a product that I've identified that you need?
Right, exactly.
Do you have a social media campaign? Who's putting that campaign together? Are you the end-all, be-all in your business, or have you hired a few smarter people, or are you enlisting the services, possibly through internship, right?
Right.
Who can help you? My children are wonderful at social media, so I'm constantly telling them, okay, help Dad set up a Facebook just for what I do. What do you mean, hashtag, underscore? What is that? Tell me about that. Help me.
Exactly. In fact, you could hire your kids. That could be your first, to just do that, because that's what they do well, right?
Yeah.
So they could be hired to do that. But with that, though, is interesting. There are a lot of my clients that just are so adverse to social media. It frightens them, but instead of going out to find out about it, not knowing that it is probably an incredible valuable tool. We were talking about that in class today. Finding, when you're out looking for your research data, the analytics and the analytical reports that you can get as the result of social media, it could take you months to do that manually, and it has for those of us who have been in business over 30 years. I mean, you had to do that through census, the census data. Now, Gilbert and I, we just marveled for our first show.
Yeah.
I put it on Facebook. I boosted it I think a total of $30, and it reached 14,886 people.
14,000.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
In 7 days.
Okay.
In 7 days. So behind that is an analytical report.
Yes.
I know exactly who those 14,000 people were, what regions they came from, the age, the gender, the income. I mean, it just kind of gives you all the information that you need.
Yeah.
So instead of being adverse to Facebook and Google and Instagram and all of that, you need to use them because it is a way, and you can play with it. It doesn't. What's a few pennies? You set your budget. So if $5 is your budget. Right. That's a good place to start to find out exactly how many people are you reaching, if nowhere else than Facebook.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good point. That's an excellent point.
And may I add, or may I ask, Crystal, these were not all your friends, right? These weren't 14,000 of personally known friends.
No, I probably fall short like 10,000.
So social media help you make new friends.
They help me make new friends, exactly. I've had many people that has reached out to me on LinkedIn. That have asked me to connect because they've seen my profile and wanted us to do business together. But it's a great way. For another class I teach at Mount SAC, that's one of the it's a 12-week program that I teach accounting and bookkeeping to to individuals that are coming through the GAIN program, the Warfare to Work program.
Excellent.
And the last part of the course, that's what I teach them, is to build their LinkedIn profile, because that is another way of making sure that you're connecting to people and seeing people that you already know out there, but you may have lost contact with, and they could be your next employer, or they could work for someone and they can vouch for you because you worked with them in a previous employment. But no, that wasn't all of my friends, and it wasn't all of Gilbert's friends. These were total strangers, which whom we hope will become friendly.
Right.
We're hoping. We're hoping.
And I noted, Crystal, that you said you use LinkedIn, which typically, as I've used LinkedIn, it's a professional place to look for people and to put information. So I'm not talking so much about my hobbies. Is that correct?
Right. You're not talking about your hobbies. And I think even without it's said, but even without it having to be repeated, most people know that's not the place to say that I went for a walk with my dog or I was hanging out at the park. Everything generally in that space is professional and has something to do with your business, because that's your professional resume right there online. Excellent. So you're careful about who you are becoming friendly with and who you are connecting with, because you want to make sure it's on the right platform, because other people are viewing you all the time there to see who you are. That's your now resume. And your vitae, and it's all online. So the more accurate and the more up to date it is for your betterment. So as you keep adding on your accomplishments, and then you get people to interact with you, a little bit easier, I think, than Facebook. When I put up last week that I had become a NUSI certified teacher, I have been receiving. Oh, got a call.
Okay. Hi. Hello, caller. How are you today? Hello, caller. Are you there?
Hello.
Hi, how are you? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Samaya, and I'm calling from the Biz Camp.
Okay, you said Shamaya?
Yes.
How do you spell that, Shamaya?
S. Oh, I'm good.
Okay. It sounds like you got your radio. You got your radio on, or your computer.
The computer there at the camp. Samaya, this is from the Biz Camp. Hi, sweetie. You have a question?
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, go ahead with your question, please, Samaya.
Well, I really don't have a question. I would just like to thank Miss Crystal for all that she has done for us, and I really appreciate her for that. And I'm really interested when she's teaching us, and it's very fun.
Oh, excellent. That is good. Crystal, you want to say hi to Samaya?
Hi, Samaya. How are you? Are you guys watching the show? Are you watching the show? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you guys watching the show?
Yes, we are.
Okay. And you're behaving for Miss Rhonda?
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for listening, Samaya. We really appreciate that, and keep on listening. And make sure you get 10 of your friends to tune in also. Okay.
Okay.
She actually has 31 friends right now tuning in.
Well, tune into all 31 of them. Have them listen, okay?
Thank you,
Okay.
sweetheart. I appreciate the wonderful accolades that you guys gave me. That I really, really treasure that.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you, sweetie. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that's 31 of your 14,000.
That's 31 of my 14,000. I come with a lot of people behind me.
There you go.
So, Mr. Pallay, we were talking
Sir.
about loans, and we were talking about what does small businesses need to do in order to get ready for a loan when they're looking for small business financing. So we talked about the business plan. We talked about making sure that your market analysis is done, and also having an idea what products or services you're offering, and make sure that you can actually demonstrate or articulate what that product does and what type of pain it's solving in the marketplace. And that's a necessary pain that's needed, right?
Right.
So now the next phase of this, I'm sure you probably want to see some financial statements. So what type of financial statements do you want from small business owners?
Just in between the financial statements, as we've identified that we can solve a pain, when we talked about customer acquisition, we're just going to take it one step back, and then we're going to go 2 steps forward
Okay.
really, really quickly.
No problem.
As we step backwards and recognize that we can solve a pain, oftentimes when I get business plans as a part of the financial package, people put fancy graphs and charts in from Excel, which is wonderful, but there's something called sales assumptions.
Right.
When you give me that fancy chart, I need to know the background. How did you get there? We talked about customers. What is it going to cost you to acquire that customer? Or what's the expense to maintain that customer? What is the expense to keep your doors open if you're in a retail space?
Right.
If you're in your home, maybe you have home expenses. Is there anything that you have to buy or use in order to purvey that product, in order to convey that product out to your customer? So I want to know the sales assumptions. What are your activities every day now that you told me about those expenses? And you know where all that's going before I get to financials? It's in your projections. Once you realize what it costs you to put your product to market and get your customer to say, I want to buy that product, you've now transacted a sale, you now have revenue. Wonderful.
Yeah.
But in the projections, how quickly are you going to get revenue?
Right.
You may bake the cupcakes today and be ready to take them to market, but it may be 3 days before your first customer comes and buys a cupcake.
And what strategy are you using to reach out to that customer in
Absolutely.
order to get the sale?
Absolutely. So I want those projections. From those projections, then those numbers should feed into your profit and loss. This is what my product is. This is what my cost of goods sold are. So it's that sale, then the cost of goods sold from that sale. Now I have my gross revenue.
Yeah.
Now I may have employee expenses. I have my phone bill, and today it's DirecTV
Right,
and internet.
exactly.
And so after I pay all my internet providers and my TV and everything I use to get to that customer, my bottom line is what? That's my profit.
And that's a very good point you just brought up right now, because I'd like to share this with some of our listeners out there. A number of them have asked us about cost of goods sold. What is cost of goods sold? Can you really tell them a little bit about that? What cost of goods sold is?
What you want to look at when you're looking at cost of goods sold, you want to look at the direct expenses for your product. Those other expenses that we mentioned, that's part of your operating cost. But the direct expense to either make or distribute that particular product, those are your costs of goods sold.
Excellent, excellent. So small businesses out there, entrepreneurs, that's exactly what this is all about. And what we're going to do right now, we're going to come right back to Mr. Pallay, but we're going to take a quick break, 2-minute break right here. So let's go to break.